So just when I thought I was going to sleep a little bit, Olivia posted her leaks. So yes, Olivia posted some very interesting clarifications. Of course, these comes from one of our main leakers, you know. It's coming from the same Discord. It's coming from the same people that we always trust, right? So there's a lot of new things. This is just the first part, but yeah, there's a lot of things. New weapons, new targeting pods, tanks and everything, right? So let's talk a little bit about the aircraft first, because there are some interesting things here. First, no F-18E. She's not actually leaking the F-18E, which is interesting to think about. But yeah, F-18A 12.3, 12.7 in RB, 12.3 in simulator. Yes, 12.7 after the F4J, and this is probably going to be the initial F-18. So the 1980 F-18A with Sparrows, with AIM-9Ls, maybe something like that. So very, very interesting to see this aircraft. Yeah, this is what I wanted. The version, the initial version, then the later version, and then the Super Hornet late, right? Later. Or not later in time, but later in the tech tree, right? Then F-18C early being the premium 13.0. This is probably just the late 80s, like 1986 or something like that. First, like F-18Cs, right? With the Sparrows, with the AIM-9Ms and stuff, but at a 13.0 as a premium, which is pretty interesting. The Finnish F-18C 14.0. What does that mean? After the MiG-29 Finn, it means that it will be a top tier vehicle. It means that it will have an AIM-120. So the early model as a premium, just Sparrows, and then this version, you know, AIM-120's full payloads for the Finnish after the MiG-21, and then F-18C late 14.0 as well after the F-14 group, which makes sense, after the F-14B, right? So yeah, this is just before the F-14s, this is just after. So the F-18s will be mixed in the middle of the F-14s, okay? F-18C late 14.0 means AIM-120s, okay? Then we have J-11B 14.0 after the J-11A, makes sense, top tier. Su-30SM, it's not the SM2, the SM after the Su-27SM, makes sense, 14.0, so the new top tier. The two Tigers over here, as you see, folded under the HAD with the hack for the French, 12.0. And then for the HAD, for the German-Spanish version, 11.0 premium, lower BR, probably older weapons, right? And then we have two new aircraft. The F-16A Block 10 Nets mod, I would assume that this is basically just a different skin or something like that. Let's wait and see, because it is going to be a premium rank 8 for Israel. So a new Nets for the Israelis, and then a Tornado IDS RET8. This is basically the latest upgrade of the IDS that the Italians have, if I'm not mistaken. So it probably will have more modern weapons and everything with that. It doesn't say if it's a different BR or whatever, but yeah, a new Tornado for the Italians, which is interesting. I wasn't really expecting that. Then we go for the next one. A lot of talks about ships over here. You can pause it and take a look. I have no idea about ships. I don't play with ships. The only thing that I think is very interesting is Sovietsky Soyuz class battleship. This is mighty because, of course, because of the German invasion of the USSR, we never saw a service of the Sovietsky Soyuz, right? So it is interesting to see the Sovietsky in the game. Although it was never completed because of the invasion, still, it is pretty cool, right? So it was a ship that I was always kind of hoping it gets added, even if I don't play too much ships, just because of that fact that it was the big ship, like the larger ship that the Soviets would have in World War II, right? But because of the German invasion, I never saw, like, it's kind of a what if kind of situation. So it's kind of cool. Battleship Colorado. We have some interesting ships over here. Not gonna talk too much about it, but you can pause it and take a look. The following ships have been removed from the trees unless you already own them, so they are removing some of these ships, boats more or less, but yeah. The next one, more tanks and stuff like that. So you can see here a Fiat 6614 Fido 6 500 millimeter 50 millimeter rockets, basically like a rocket launcher, kind of like a Grad or something like that, but in a Fiat, which is pretty interesting. Some of the vehicles that we already knew, some others that we didn't know, but yeah, you can pause it and take a look. So the Ariete, for example, pushed up, Premium Rank 7, 11.7. The Mistas, apparently both of them are coming, as you see. And the M2 is going to be a squadron vehicle, which is interesting. So all the BRs and everything is leaked here. Some weapons. Here it's kind of like, it doesn't mean that they are coming in this update, okay? It just means that they are going to be there and maybe they are added. So very interesting ones. These three ones are very interesting. PL-8B, yeah, the advanced version of the PL-8 that we already have. It is a Python 3 with IRCCM. That's the major thing. That would be very, very cool for the J11B, and that's what I think it's gonna get this missile. Finally, the PL-8B being added. R-77-1, we might see the R-77-1. This was leaked a very long time ago by Olivia, if I'm not mistaken, or it was in the files, something like that, for a very long time. It was already in the files, but I think Olivia talked about this missile before. I don't remember, but still. So it is on the files, so to be added to the game, it's a very easy thing to happen, right? So it is interesting. Let me check. She doesn't say it's for this patch, but yeah, R-77-1 would be just a larger range R-77, okay? It doesn't change much from the missile, but it will have more energy, which is great. The Russians, they're not suffering, but it is the main problem of their tech tree. The R-77 doesn't have range, right? AIM-7P, yes, finally the AIM-7P is being talked about. This would be one of the last and most advanced versions of the Sparrow. I have to check again if this is the version of the RDMH is the one, but I don't remember right now. One of these is a version that has data link, which would mean that this missile would be a lot more precise and a lot more reliable to get kills, which is pretty cool. But yeah, one of the most advanced AIM-7s, probably coming for the F-18s. AGM-65F, another Maverick, more advanced version, pretty cool. Another version of the Walleye as well, which is pretty cool with data link. So very, very cool. Some targeting pods, okay, these are all for the these three are all for the F-18s, okay? So these two are for the Legacy Hornets, but I think this one can also be used by the C variants, but also by the Super Hornets. So these are the Nighthawk, I think it's called, or something like that. But yeah, basically TV pods for the F-18s that she leaked. The 22-0, this is the interesting one, I think. It's a pod for the MiG-29 SMT to have a TV pod to guide its weapons, which is pretty cool. It would mean that the MiG-29 SMT would be a little bit more, you know, reliable to use in the air-to-ground role. And last but not least, we have some miscellaneous stuff over here. We have a new radar that is used by many aircraft, including some MiG-21s and some other aircraft. It was used initially it was made to be used on the Lavi, but I don't think it is the Lavi that is coming. It's probably going to be added for an F-16 or something like that. I don't know. There are many aircraft that use this radar, but it is an Israeli radar, okay? Some changes to maybe the Spectra. I don't know what the DAL and R are for the Rafale, so if you know, let me know in the comments. We have a new pilot model, sensors fusion. I don't know exactly what this means, probably a new feature or something. Night vision system for the Panther 2 is now removable, and web UI may be disabled in matches. Okay, but basically this is it. So very interesting and a very large leak. Probably the biggest leak I ever saw from Olivia herself, right? So it is pretty interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think about all of these, and I see you guys on the next one. Really need to stop talking and go to sleep because I'm really tired right now. So let me know in the comments what you think about it, and bye guys, see ya.